Yomi. This is episode 11 in the Amud Yomi series of Yehoshua Sofer Chadash, and today's Amud Yomi is Bava Batra, page 67b. And sometimes I start from a line or two from before the first, just to get the middle of the sentence, so just to make it make sense. But it is in the middle of an idea, but I don't cover the previous idea. So whatever it is, we just got to figure out where we are. That's the whole fun about this thing. It's just jumping in the middle of something. And my inspiration for it is just whatever I go into somewhere, shul, synagogue, somewhere, someone's studying Talmud, tractate, Bava Batra, page 67b. That's the Amud for today. So it kind of keeps things fun. So here you are. The last two words of 67a are Ikad Amri, and some say a different version of a previous discussion. So we're really in the middle of something. I'm not even sure what it is. But let's see if we can figure it out as we get into it. Bava Batra 67b on top with the words Rabba Amar Rav Nachman. Hachzik b'choisli chosis. Kana Mesula, Peshita, the Hamar Shmuel, Macharoi, Esther Sodis, Vechule, Mao, the Tema, Hasam, who Disadano, the Arachad, who Aval Hocha, Ha Tash Mishta, Lechod, Ha Tash Mishta Lechod, Kamash Malan. Rabba actually said that Rav Nachman said if one sold a sand field and a pond, and the buyer took possession of the sand field, he has also acquired the pond. The Gemara asks, this is obvious, as Shmuel says, if one sold 10 fields to another in 10 different regions, once he takes possession of one of them, he has acquired them all. The Gemara explains why Rav Nachman's statement was nevertheless necessary. It is necessary lest you say that there, in the case of the 10 fields, the land is all located in one geographic block with a single use, and therefore all the fields are acquired together. But here, in the case of the sand field and the pond, the sand field has a distinct use, and the pond has a distinct use, and therefore taking possession of one of them should not affect acquisition of the other. Therefore, Rav Nachman teaches us that if the buyer took possession of the sand field, he has acquired the pond as well. Okay? And that's the Talmud, and now the Mishnah. Hamoicher Beis Abad Machares Hayam Ves Hamamel Ves Abesulos Aval Lo Machares Abirim Ves Hagalgal Ves Hakoire Uvizman Shamaloi Hu Bechol Ma Shebetoichoi Harei Kulan Mechurin Rabbi Eliezer Oimer. So the Mishnah says one who sells an olive press without specifying what is included in the sale has sold with it the yam and the memel and the betulot, the immovable elements of the olive press. But he has not sold with it the avirim and the galgal and the korah, the movable utensils of the olive press. I guess he has to mention those separately in the contract when he sells it. When the seller says to the buyer, I am selling you it and everything that is in it, all these components are sold along with the olive press, even the movable utensils. Rabbi Eliezer says one who sells an olive press has sold the korah as well, as it is the most fundamental element of the olive press. Okay. And now the Gemara, the Talmud says, Yam Talafcha Memal Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Memel Mifarcha. It's interesting. The memel, and then someone named Abba Bar Memel said what it is. So, okay. Mifarcha. Betulot. Amar Yochanan. Kilon sos shel erez shemamidin. Pahen es hakoire. Avirim. Kiv shegalgal. Chumarta. Koire. Alright. The Gemara explains the terms used in the Mishnah. The yam is the lentil, the round stationary container into which the olives are placed before being crushed. Okay. And as for the memel, Rabbi Abba Bar Memel said, it's interesting. So what's the memel? So someone named Memel said what it is. Rabbi Abba Bar Memel said, this is the crusher. Makes sense. Mimulach, like mimulach, if it's crushed. Mimulach tohor kodesh. V'shachakta mimena, from the spices. You crush this. I think it's okay. Anyways, memel, the crusher. I went off on a tangent. Sorry, I don't want to get off topic. As for the memel, Rabbi Abba Bar Memel said, this is the crusher, the utensil used to pound and crush the olives. As for the betulot, Rabbi Yochanan said these are the cedar posts, the klon sod, that support the beam of the olive press. The avirim are the pressers, the wooden boards that are placed on top of the of the crushed olives, and upon which the beam is lowered in order to press the olives. The galgal is the humrata, a round stone that is placed on the beam to weigh it down. The kora is the heavy wooden beam used to press down upon the olives and thereby extract the oil. Tanu Rabbanan. The Rabbanan learned the Braise. That means the rabbis learned the Braise. Okay? Tanu Rabbanan Moicha Beis Habad. Moicha Sanisorim. Es Heikovim Mafreichois. Es Richaim Hatochtoinois, aber lo Heliona. ובזמן שאמר לו, הוא וכל מה שבתוכו, הרי כולם נכורין, בין כך ובין כך למחר, לא אס האווירים, ולא אס הסכין, ולא אס המרצופין. The sages taught in a Braita to Sefta 3:2, one who sells an olive press without specifying was included in the sale, has sold with it the boards that are fixed in place to hold the olives, and the vats for collecting the oil, and the crushers used to pound and crush the olives before pressing them, and the lower millstone, meaning the stationary millstone base, but not the upper millstone. But when the seller says to the buyer, I am selling you it and everything that is in it, all these components are sold, both in this case where he executes the sale without specification, and in that case where he adds the phrase that he is selling everything that is in the olive press. He has not sold the wooden boards that are placed on top of the crushed olives when they are being pressed, nor has he sold the sacks, nor has he sold the leather bags for carrying the olives, as these are all movable goods that are not specifically part of the olive press. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, המויכר בסבד, מחר את הקוירה, שלא נקרא בסבד, אלא על שום קוירה. Rabbi Eliezer says, one who sells an olive press has sold the heavy wooden beam used to press down upon the olives, as it is called an olive press. Beit Habad, only due to this beam, the most essential part of the press, and this beam is otherwise known as a bad. And that's it. And now for a new Mishnah. המויכר es המרחץ, לא ימכר es הניסורין, ואס הספסולין, ואס הבילוניוס, בזמן שומע לוי, היא וכל מה שבסויך הרי כולן מכורים. בין כך ובין כך לא ימכר לוי es המגורויס של מים, ולוי es האויצורויס של עצים. One who sells a bathhouse without specifying what is included in the sale has not sold with it the boards that are placed on the floor, nor has he sold the basins or the curtains. When the seller says to the buyer, I am selling it, selling you it and everything that's in it, all these components are sold along with the bathhouse, both in this case, where he executes the sale without specification, in that case, where he adds the phrase, he is selling everything that is in the bathhouse. He has not sold the tanks of water, nor has he sold the storerooms for wood, as an explicit sales agreement is required for these matters. Gemara, the Talmud says, Tanu Rabbanan Moichel es hamelchos Macharas Beis HaNisarim. Yes, Beis HaYikomin. Yes, Beis HaSasarim. Yes, Beis HaVilaos. Avalo es HaNisarin Atzmon. Velo Yikamin Atzmon. Safsorim Atzmon. Velo Vilaos Atzmon Uzman. Shavalo Yichol Ma'ashe B'soicha Yikulim Mechurin. Ben kach u ben kach loy mocha loy yasabrei chois. Hamisab chois loy mayim ben. That's it. Okay. The Gemara says the sages taught of righteous to Sefta 3:3. One who sells a bathhouse without specifying what is included in the sale has sold with it the storeroom for the boards and the storeroom for the implements called yekamin, and the storeroom for the basins and the storeroom for the curtains. But he has not sold the boards themselves, nor the yekamin themselves, nor the basins themselves, nor the curtains themselves. When the seller says to the buyer, I am selling you it and everything that is in it, all these components are sold along with the bathhouse, both in this case where he executes the sale without specification, and in that case where he adds the phrase that he is selling everything that is in the bathhouse. He has not sold him the pools that supply him with water, whether